Hello again, everybody. Meteorologist Corey Hargeth here. At the end of our first video, I had mentioned that we were going to demonstrate how air masses move, but since we can't see what the air is actually doing, we're going to use water instead. So what I have in front of me is just a tub of water that I let get down to room temperature. And so in here, we've got some hot water in this little bottle here, and then I've got some ice cubes as well to demonstrate some cold water. So the first thing we need to do is make it so we can see the difference between this warm or this room temperature air and the hot water. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put some red food coloring inside here. Give it a nice dark red look to it so you can really see what we're looking at here. So what we're looking to do is demonstrate how air masses move. And so the main thing that we need to see is what difference temperature will make with our air or our water. So the saying that we use in the physics world is warm air rises, cold air sinks. And that makes complete sense based on just the air in our houses, right? Because where is the coldest place in your house going to be? Of course, it's going to be the basement, because cold air just has a tendency to sink as low as it can possibly go. And the warmest, if you have an upstairs area in your house, or even like an attic, something like that, the highest point is going to be the warmest area. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to take this bottle of the hot water that I just made red, okay? We're just going to set that in here. Just kind of let that water mix a little bit. And so what we are seeing here is, since the hot water is more dense than the room temperature air, which is colder than it, then the red water is just going to stay at the top, even though the bottle has now sunk down to the bottom, because of course that is more dense. Now let's introduce some cold water to this. So what I've done for this case is just dyed some ice cubes green, so again you can see the difference. So we're just going to go ahead and throw that in there. Just kind of let it do its thing a little bit there. And there you can see that the green, because it is colder than both the hot water and the room temperature water, it had the tendency to sink down to the bottom. Now, of course, we could get a little bit of mixing in some of the middle areas, and that's where that whole occlusion and the occluded front that we didn't talk about in the last video, that's where that would come into play a little bit. But overall, we see the red on the top and the green on the bottom because, again, warm air rises and cold air sinks. And that is a key feature that goes into what makes our weather. And we can also tie this into our next demonstration, which would be dealing with how thunderstorms form. Of course, you want that warm, moist air to be rising if you want to get into a thunderstorm. We're going to talk about that coming up in our next video.